Good morning, brothers and sisters. Welcome you to our daily devotion insight. And this morning, I would like to share a devotion that I entitled it as "Do Not Judge." I will read from a passage from the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 3 to 5. Book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 3 to 5. It goes like this way: Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, "Let me take the speck out of your eye," and when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take out the plank out of your own eye, and then you will clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Okay. Recently, my son asked me to help his math work. And the question is about choosing an ascending number, a number that ascends. 1, 5, 7, 10. So for some reason, my wife and I couldn't solve it. Okay, of course the number is a bit bigger. It's like 20 point something with the decimal number. So we couldn't solve it. My wife actually couldn't solve it. Then she passed it to me. Hey, can you just help? My son. And okay. So I was rather tired then, but I spent the next 15 to 20 minutes trying to understand the question. And then even I referred to the answer at the back, but I couldn't come up with a working process that or explanation to explain my son how can we get that answer, and I couldn't understand. How could the author of the textbook come to such an answer? So at that moment, I believe that I found a flaw in the government-issued textbook. So I went on full SJW mode, social justice warrior mode. I ranted in the online space, and I believe that I found an error that the textbook author has made, and while I wanted to complain why the government wanted to impose such a hard math syllabus to a young child. So when I posted my rant and then replies start coming in, and then I realized my little rant has backfired on me. The answer was actually very simple. The question was actually just choose the bigger number and your set ascending number. But I failed to see such a solution. We were trying to find out what's the exact number and how they can calculate and things like that. So to cut the story short, I quickly apologized and I ate the humble pie and I closed the topic. So what do we learn from here? What do I learn from here? Lesson number 1 is that don't make judgment when you're tired. Okay, so keep your mouth shut. Sleep it over and think again before you say anything. That's lesson number 1. But the most important lesson that I have learned here is that when we are irritated, or when we are tired, or even when we are offended, we tend to seek out flaws and start banging on those flaws and seek self-justification on it. For example, I found this leader, he got a weakness, if we start banging and start to tell other church members, or because I'm doing the church a favor. We are what we call the online space. We call us SJW, social justice warrior. We try to get justice. We see the pastor, he made a mistake. We start telling other people. We start banging on it. So we tend to judge. So coming back to the Bible, in the very sense of this verse, it seems that Jesus was trying to tell us to mind our business, isn't it? When we read we don't look at people's back, and mind your own business, right? But in the family of God, and especially in this month, this term, we are talking about cooperation. In any teamwork, they're bound to be rubbing of shoulders, or when we work together, there's bound to be conflict. So are we not to point out certain weaknesses or characters or flaws of others so that we can work better? Are we not to do that? If yes, then how are we to do it? Okay, so the key of understanding this verse is that of the attitude of the heart when we are confronting or pointing out weakness in others. Okay, that's why Jesus do such a comical parable. A speck, and then one big plank, one big timber. Some Bible will call it a timber. So big you can't even see. Such a comical parable, such a comical comparison. Okay, but the key is, are we doing it when we point out these weaknesses? Are we doing it in love, humility, and a desire to see that a situation, a working process, or that even for that person's well-being are greatly improved and blessed by God? For my little situation I was speaking earlier, I was definitely none of those. I was proud, I was angry, I'm irritated, and most importantly, I yielded to the carnal desire to seek self-justification rather than to seek righteousness from God. Well, I thank God that He uses others to quickly point out my flaws, and then the matter closes rather quickly, minimizing my embarrassment. But it is a lesson that I will learn for a very, very long time. And I hope that all of us this morning, we will also remember not to judge quickly, okay? Not always look in the mirror before we speak out. And when we need to speak out, learn to speak in love and humility, and seek self-justification from God and not for ourselves. Amen. May the word of the Lord bless you.